y'all, welcome back to the Clancy Family Homestead. It is an absolutely gorgeous morning here on the homestead. It is nice and cool. It's probably like upper 60s, low 70s right now. Humidity is gonna be lower today. It feels so good out. Yesterday it was really humid. So like first thing in the morning, it felt sticky. You could just feel the stickiness in the air. Our humidity has been pretty high this summer, but we have overall been very dry. We've had like no rain. Honestly, for a couple weeks. We got a little sprinkle the other day and that was it. We may get a little sprinkle this weekend, but I really don't think we are going to get anything. It has just been super dry, so you can see like our grass, which is partly because this was standing hay. We brush hogged it and then have mowed it since. It's pretty brown. Everything's pretty dry. I mean, there is some green, but it has been extremely dry in our area. There's spots on our yard that are just like crunchy and brown. But today I wanted to kind of talk to you guys and run through where we're gonna put our orchard, or all of our perennials pretty much. Berries, fruit trees, things like asparagus even, because that is a perennial. You know, things that we're gonna put in place and hopefully keep forever. So we originally had laid out, our plan was the garden and then the orchard that way. After my husband and I talked more, we decided we kind of want the trees more in a line along the back area here, kind of going towards our backfield, to kind of just block that area. Like this is the front, that's the back, kind of differentiate the two. My chickens. So we hatched out 25 chicks and 24, 25, I think it was 25. As of right now, 100% 3 are roosters. The one crows continuously, but I think there's at least 4 actually, and there may be more. They just haven't started growing yet. But anyways, so my garden is still going to be kind of in this middle section. I actually laid out yesterday where I wanted my garden, and originally I was going to 100 feet by 50 feet, and then I would have like basically 50 feet on either side of a walkway down the middle, kind of similar how I had it at our last house, but after laying that out, that felt just too big for next year. I really want to start smaller, maintain things better, be able to stay on top of watering, be able to stay on top of fertilizing, weeding, all the things. So I think I'm going to do kind of more of like a 50 by 50, maybe 75 by 50, kind of just a little bit smaller section. The reason I would increase it a little bit to 75 by 50 is because of like things like potatoes and squash that are going to take a lot of space for what you're going to get. But garden in the middle. On the front side of our property, we're going to do a strip, at least one strip, probably 2 or 3 strips over time, of some pine trees. So I've always wanted to have some Christmas trees on the property. I've always wanted to be able to like cut down our own Christmas trees on our property. And the gentleman who we get our Christmas trees from currently every year, he's a wonderful, wonderful gentleman. He's not going to be doing it forever. He has talked about selling the Christmas tree section quite a few times. So I've asked him, you know, what do you plant? What grows well? What do you notice is the best? And also his trees last so long. Like they will be green until spring. Like we'll put them out in our compost pile and they're still green come springtime. They drop very few needles. They just always been really great. And he lives in a very similar area to this. Very snowy. So I asked him and he said balsam fir was what he plants and that's what he notices does best. So we're going to do some balsam firs. Then in front of the balsam firs, because evergreen trees, typically their needles, as they drop, they kind of increase the acidity of the soil. Things like blueberries actually do very well planted near-ish. They're not going to be right next to the evergreens, but they're going to be a little bit closer to the evergreens. So we're going to do evergreens, then a strip of blueberries, and then I'm actually going to do like my raspberries and blackberries over here as well. So I would like quite a few blueberry plants. Like I'm talking like 20 to 30 blueberry plants so that we can freeze blueberries and can blueberries and things for our whole year. Raspberries, we are going to actually go take some of our raspberries from our old property because it was family that purchased our property. We kind of talked to them in the beginning about taking a few raspberry plants. My old neighbor also talked about giving us some raspberry plants if we need any, because once you plant a couple of whatever variety they started with, they spread like crazy. So even if we plant like 5 or 6 raspberries, we'll have 20 or 30 in a couple years. I also would like to do a couple blackberry plants. I don't really see many blackberries on this property, and I also really prefer the thornless ones. So that side's kind of going to be the berries, and I'll probably put the strawberries over there too. So then it would be the garden. And then on the back side of the garden, because of the way the sun rises, and it goes east to west, south is that way, I want the garden to kind of be in the middle. I don't want the evergreens to be shading the garden at all. So in the back here is where we will put the fruit trees, which again, I don't want the fruit trees also shading the garden. So then it would be, our fruit orchard is going to go this way. It's going to kind of be like a wall. It'll be 2 or 3 trees thick. So fruit trees, and then we plan on the back side of that planting some more evergreens. So let's see, I have a list on my phone of all the perennials I want, all the fruit trees I want. I also am going to put asparagus probably over on this section. I'm going to do it in like a little raised bed and plant asparagus. So I want to start out with like probably 25 crowns of asparagus, and we'll kind of go from there. Give your purse. All right, so now this amount that I want is not what we're going to all of a sudden plant the first year. We are going to plant these over time. We are going to expand our orchard over time. This is just what I want eventually. And that could change potentially depending on how many apples we're able to get from our property, if they're actually, you know, decent apples. Right now they kind of all seem very small, so I'm thinking they're a little bit more of like a crabapple variety, but we'll see. They may in the next month or so grow. So I would like 10 apple trees. That may seem like a lot, but we love applesauce. We love apple pie. We love eating apples. I want to be able to dehydrate apples, things like that. So we want a good amount of apple trees. The varieties that I really like, the biggest variety I like is Gala. I love Gala apples. They're great for baking. They hold up really well. They're great for applesauce. I love them in pretty much all the different uses. I also love Cortland apples. They're really big normally, and so I like them for processing just because I don't have to process as many to get the same amount as I would Gala. Gala are typically a smaller variety. Cortland are really big, but Cortland are also delicious, and we love eating them. I also want a Honeycrisp. Again, very good for eating. They're like very tart, sweet apples, just really, really good. And then I want a couple Granny Smith. Granny Smith, I like to throw in a couple. So when I make like an apple pie, I use mostly Gala apples, and then I throw in a couple Granny Smith. It just adds a nice like tartness to it. And they hold up really well with baking. I want 2 pear trees. Originally I had said I want 4, but we don't eat that many pears and we don't process a lot of pears, so I don't need a million pear trees, but you do want typically 2 of anything you have because of pollination. And then, got my helpers out here. I would like 4 peach trees. We love peaches. I would love to be able to can more peaches, things like that. So I want 4 peach trees. Cherry trees, I want 4 cherry trees total, but 2 sweet and 2 tart or sour cherries. Sour cherries are better for like baking with and stuff. Sweet cherries are better just for eating. We love cherries. So again, I said blueberries. I would like 30 or so, 20, 30 blueberries. We plan on just transplanting the raspberries. Blackberries, I want like 4 or 5 of the thornless blackberries. Mostly just for fresh eating. We may be able to, you know, can a little bit of that. Strawberries, we want a ton. We eat a lot of strawberries. We can a lot of strawberry jam. I would love to be able to freeze a lot of strawberries. We love smoothies and things. So if I can freeze fruit from our own property, that'd be great. So I'm hoping to get, I'll probably start with 200 strawberry plants and then expand from there. They do send off shoots. We want the Honey-O variety. I got them from Burpees in the past, and we had really great success with them. They produced the first year, so I plan on ordering them in spring. And then I would like to get 6 elderberry trees or bushes. They're more of a bushing tree to be able to have for elderberry syrup. You can also make jams and things with them. And then we would like some grapes too. I would love to have some Concord grapes. I would love to have some green grapes too, but Concord are really what I would like. And again, this is all in time. This is not all right now. This is not all year 1. Actually, well, it will still be within year 1 technically of being here, but I don't really plan on getting anything this fall. I really did want to get a couple apple trees, and maybe we'll be able to, but it has been so dry. There's no way I could plant an apple tree and have it be successful right now. I can't risk, you know, using our well to, when it's been this dry, to water these trees. I don't want to risk drying up our well. I don't want to risk using too much water. And I don't want to risk transplanting them and then them not doing well because I couldn't water them. So I don't think I'm going to plant anything this fall. So I was going to try to order some of the strawberry plants for now, which also wouldn't be smart because of how dry it is. But I did start looking just out of curiosity, and they are sold out till spring. Also, I looked at the balsam firs. They're also sold out till spring. So I won't be getting any of those things until spring. Again, maybe we'll be able to get a couple of apple trees, but I really doubt it. Unless magically it starts raining. We really have very minimal rain in the forecast for the next couple weeks. So I don't want to risk planting anything and having it not thrive, and not being able to give it what it needs.
Yep.
Yep. What do you want? Fruit tree wise, or fruit wise?
Probably apple for sure.
Apples, yeah.
Or cherries.
Yeah. What do you want, Miss Tattoo Face, for fruits? What are you looking forward to most?
Peaches.
Peaches, yeah. Nice juicy peach. So that is our fruit orchard, fruit tree, fruit bush plan, along with the asparagus. That's not fruit, but that is a perennial. So that is our perennial gardening plan, at least as of right now. Things may change a little bit come springtime. You know, we may lay things out a little bit differently after we've been here for a while. That's also one of the reasons we're not rushing into getting anything right now, because we do kind of want to give it a little while and see where things would fit best. But yeah, I am very excited to get these perennials in. The longer you wait on perennials, the longer you wait to plant, the longer you're gonna have to wait to harvest. Most fruit trees take 4 to 5 years to produce. Some will produce a little bit earlier, you know, and some a little bit longer, but expect about 4 to 5 years to really start producing anything. So the sooner we can get them in, the sooner we can actually start harvesting off of these things and being able to supply our produce, our fruit. Obviously we always have our annual garden and we can always harvest off of that, but it's nice to be able to have fruit trees, fruit bushes. So yeah, I will keep you guys updated. I'll show you guys as we actually buy things, where we actually lay things out, and how things go. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. Remember, we're going today for a better tomorrow. Please like and subscribe and join me on the next one.